Toronto Raptors have already given the Philadelphia 76ers one loss this season. Could they make it a second loss? A little home-and-home action. Sixers, Raptors. With James Harden going, Tobias Harris can return to who he used to be. Shout out my ball for life. He nails the three. Then Tyrese Maxey in transition. He's going to be the guy that's got the responsibility of being the new number 2 in Philly. So far, so good for Maxey, and so far, so great for the MVP of the league. Joel Embiid continues to dominate to kick off the 23-24 campaign. Look at Embiid just getting to the money. And the Sixers needed all of it. They led at the half, third quarter. More Joel Embiid. The block on Pascal Siakam. And it's Maxey, the quick deuce. But I got to show you one more angle of this block. That is a Cameroon crime from Embiid to Siakam. Other end, Embiid off his pivot, just showing you what hard work, dedication can do. Joel puts the Sixers up by 7. And then look at this dime from Embiid to Oubre, who takes the rock and gets to the rim with ease. Joel Embiid had 7 assists. Tobias Harris channeling his inner Joel Embiid off his pivot. And it's Philadelphia taking the 15-point lead. It's the NBA, though. Everybody makes a run. When you got talented forwards like Scotty Barnes, you're going to make one. He finishes in transition. OG Anunoby's, this is a hard playoff foul on Embiid. Nothing wrong with it, but it was a hard foul. Embiid would stay in the game, though, and continue to dominate. Joel Embiid goes for 28 points, 13 rebounds. I already mentioned to you guys the 7 assists. Sixers get some get back. They beat the Raptors by 15. Harden said that he kind of felt like he was on a leash last year in Philly, and that, quote, "I'm not a system player, I am the system." It was Embiid that went behind Harden and said, I thought we did a pretty good job of giving Harden the ball pretty much every time down because he deserved it. He's a great player. I thought that was a very mature thing for Embiid to say. I feel like he was calling out Harden, who was trying to leave a little bit of stink on Philly that could hurt them for the upcoming years, and maybe other stars think twice about going to Philadelphia. To me, it's the little boy who cried wolf syndrome with Harden. I don't understand how he crapped on Houston years ago and then wanted to go back to Houston, and then he crapped on Brooklyn. To me, it's a little boy that cried wolf syndrome with Harden. And I like that Embiid said, that wasn't the case here in Philly. We gave you the ball. You just wanted something better for James Harden. And I want to take this further. I think the Philadelphia 76ers are fine without Harden. They put themselves in position to be able to potentially go out and get maybe a Zach LaVine. I'm watching the Chicago Bulls thing really closely. It feels as if, though, the Bulls are going to be the first team to blow it up. All the players are hinting at it, which I don't think is a good sign at all. All you keep hearing from Chicago Bulls players are how close they is to, this thing being blown up. And it's weird to me. I don't think I've ever seen that. They pretty much walked into the year knowing that this thing ain't going to work out. They have clearly been demoralized with how 2 years ago the season ended with Giannis kicking them out of the playoffs without Middleton even there. And then last year, them losing to the Miami Heat in the play-in tournament. I'm watching the Zach LaVine thing closely. I got to believe at some point the Toronto Raptors are going to say enough is enough of the Siakam, OG Anunoby era. Hence, Philly just beating up on the Raptors there. I got to believe at some point Toronto's going to say we're going to pivot in a different direction. I assume maybe one of those dudes to be available in the foreseeable future. And maybe, just maybe, there will be, we know there's going to be a star or two that gets unhappy about their scenario. Hell, every year Harden and Kyrie are unhappy, it feels like. Maybe Harden's already used up his one unhappy for this year, so obviously you're not looking to bring him back. But who knows? Kyrie might be unhappy next week. And then there are other stars coming down the pipeline who could very well be unhappy. This is the NBA. So I don't rule out Philadelphia being done as a championship contending team in the Joel Embiid era. What I will say, though, is if they're not able to find something soon, assuming that they're at around the 4 or 5 seed out east, and they get bounced out of the playoffs in the second round or maybe even the first this year, I definitely could see the trade rumors and speculation heightening of Embiid next summer. Obviously, the New York Knicks are going to be in that conversation. I'm assuming to be heavily. So, I look, I'm not ruling anything out. I don't know how it ends for Joel Embiid and Philly. My gut tells me he won't play his entire career in Philadelphia. My gut tells me he's going to go somewhere else. But I do believe that Philadelphia 76ers fan base needs to remember when Harden tried to throw them up against the wall and put a little dirt on them, Embiid went out of his way to say, hold on, bro. Harden was great. He ain't just get done dirty in Philly. We gave him the ball every chance he get, because what Harden is kind of doing is crapping on Embiid's run last year. Like whatever happened under Doc Rivers and James Harden last year in Philadelphia, it led to the greatest version of Joel Embiid last year. So with Harden saying, man, I felt marginalized. I'm not a system player. They had me on a leash last year. What you're doing in a lot of ways is crapping on Embiid's season. I like what Embiid did to say, hold on, bro. Things wasn't as bad as Harden's trying to say it was, at least from his vantage point.
I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing.
Why build theirs when I believe I can build my own?
You've already done it, or I wouldn't be here.
I'm already the only elite sports and music journalist in the game today. My goal is simple, to be the best there's ever been. So, please don't go. Make sure you subscribe and follow the journey. It truly means everything to me. I tell stories. I talk music. I cover sports. I am culture. I am Ferro.